Hi, Paul Sackett, Good News Broadcast. I'm speaking to Sissy Biggers. Hi, Sissy. How are you?
I am fine. Thanks so much for having me today, Paul.
Well, I look forward to speaking with you. We're getting ready for the back-to-school time, right?
That's the good news if you're a mom, right? Not so much for them, but for us.
There's a little withdrawal, too, I imagine.
No, I think that, it's funny. This time of year is so bittersweet, and as much as I want to get everybody kind of back into their lives again, it's sad to see it go, but we as parents really have to do our best to get our kids ready, and there's some tips that I can share with you today.
Okay, well, we look forward to that. So what are some?
Well, first of all, you've got to be sure that your kids are greeting that day properly nourished, getting started in the morning with a balanced, protein-based breakfast. And Jimmy Dean has made it a little bit more convenient for we busy moms with their new Jimmy D's Convenience Breakfast, which will provide your kids with wholesome and flavorful turkey sausage that kids love, and nearly 10 grams of protein. And that protein, paired with a glass of milk and a serving of fruit, is exactly what the kids need to do their best.
Okay, sounds good to me. What else do they need to do?
They need to hydrate, Paul. Big bottle. They love their water bottles now. They put stickers on them and take them around with them. It sort of takes on its own extension of their personalities as they dangle it off of their fingers, But that hydration is so important, especially during those first days of hot weather when they're back and it still feels like the middle of summer. But also, there's a new survey, a very interesting scientific study that hardly sounds like big science, but kids who drink water do better on tests. It's just as simple as that.
Well, hydration is by far important. We do a show called The Water Hour, and we're very involved with the subject of water, and it's no doubt about it, the cleanliness of the entire body and the system and the mind.
Well, also, I think with kids, you don't, for them to do their best, they have to be focused. And they can be distracted by being hungry, they get distracted if they're thirsty, and they get distracted if they're tired. So that third component, of course, would be the getting them back into starting now, this routine of going to bed at a decent hour and being ready when they, have to get out of bed in the morning at probably earlier than they have. So it's a good time this week to start easing them back into that schedule. And I know they're going to say, "But Mom, it's still light out." But that's where it's tough.
So how do you go about that?
Well, you just got to start easing them in. And by the way, I'm not above bribery. So, this year the bribery is it's the parents' best bribery ever. It's the silly bands, the little elastic bracelets that the kids are wearing in the different shapes. Sprinkle their beds with silly bands and let them, collect them and share them at school. That's an easy one. They're $1 a piece.
Okay.
And but really, they'll be grateful to you when they find themselves in 10 days a little bit back in the routine already. It won't be so jarring to their system.
Okay, what are some other good concepts here?
Well, I think the other concept is, as you begin this run down to school, just a lot of talking as a family, about the expectations. There's going to be some nerves there. Your kids might start acting funny in the next few days. That could be a little preschool anxiety. Talk about it. Share. It was funny. I was taking my power walk yesterday in Connecticut, and the yellow school buses were whizzing by doing their dry runs, And, one day, take them out and show them, remind them of the bus stop and get them back in that routine and the timing of that. And, maybe drive the bus route with them and just get them back into that mindset.
That's a very good idea, especially, I guess, if it's a new school.
Oh, yeah, the new school. Well, but luckily nowadays, they're so savvy. The new schools have special days for the kids to come in early, get acquainted, and I was walking, as I said, on my power walk, and I went by the elementary school, and the doors were open, and there were cars in the parking lot, and that there are teachers scrubbing boards and organizing bookshelves, and poke your head in and say hello.
Friendly is always a good word.
Always a good word.
I think it's nice when you're there also, of course, when your child goes onto the bus and maybe comes off the bus.
Yeah, now that my girls are bigger and they're not on and off the bus like they used to be, one of my favorite things in the world is to find myself in the car in Connecticut following a school bus when it's either picking them up or dropping them off, and watching the parents at the end of the driveway and the kids. It's one of the pure joys in life. That's good news. When you see kids you see kids come off the bus in the afternoon, and there's all that excitement with coming home and the little sibling at the bus stop. And then in the morning, of course, the kids get on the bus, and the mothers stand, and they continue to enjoy their coffee and talk a little bit longer. And it's really one of the most sort of, it's a little slice of Americana to get a little sentimental about it.
I'm out of control with it. I'm a grandpa now.
Yeah,
My
there you
grandson gets on the bus and comes off the bus, and he starts yelling. I go crazy.
Yeah, it's the cutest thing in the world.
It's all good. Well, I see something here, but after the first day, is it important to really have sit down and discuss how did it go, or did you make
well, you know what?
Things?
Chances are they're going to be nammering the minute they get off that bus. There's going to be so much incoming, you're not even able to sort the whole thing out. So sort out an afternoon time when they get home, sit them down, give them that healthy snack in the afternoon, and listen, because it's a very exciting incoming when they come home from those first days of school.
Listen's a very good word. Sissy, do you think things have changed since you were a child?
I think they've changed so dramatically for the better for so many reasons, you know? Mm-hmm. I just think that the kids were just much more, you know, we had to tough it out, a lot of us. You know, nobody told us, we just did the best we could, and, you know, everybody kind of hoped for the best. Now we're, like, really aware of our children and their capacities, and some with whatever disabilities back in my day would have been seen as a troubled child. I mean, everything's just, we're much more aware.
Mm-hmm. A lot of information out there, no doubt about it.
That's for sure. Well, I really enjoy chatting with you. You always bring out some really good questions, Paul.
Well, you always have good answers. You're a wise woman.
Thank you.
And appreciate the good things around you. So last question, Sissy, what's good news for you?
My good news is my girls are passionate and healthy. They're passionate about what they love to do, their interests, and they're healthy girls. And if you can have kids who are healthy and passionate, you've got everything going for you.
And a mom who appreciates it.
I certainly do. I feel really, really blessed.
Okay. Sissy, thanks so much.
Thank you. I enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it as well. Bye-bye.